You're watching the PIX11 News at 4.
Well, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and to raise awareness, fight the stigma, and understand the challenges.
Yeah, one New York nonprofit is at the forefront of supporting people and their families who are struggling with mental health issues. Joining us right now is Linda Giuliano, director of the Center for Resiliency and Wellness at the Greenwich House. And Linda, thanks for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and there's no coincidences. We're on the heels of breaking news.
Yeah.
That's about trauma.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's timely.
Absolutely. We're getting that news in and can continue to update it. But, you know, it goes to this conversation. We're talking about a conversation regarding mental illness, and a lot of people focus on anxiety disorders since those are the most common. But trauma can be a big part of that. So can we jump in and talk about that?
Absolutely. Trauma can be something that a person has experienced as an event, such as the news we've heard today, a natural disaster. It can be historical, intergenerational. It can be emotional, psychological, and physical. It can come in so many forms. So trauma-informed care is an approach in which a person seeking services, that survivor, is working with a therapist who is doing their best to promote and restore a feeling of safety and respect.
So, Linda, we have some numbers here. Back in 2019, the CDC said that 14% of kids between the ages of 5 and 17 had received mental health treatment, compared to 46% of adults in 2020. So how does providing mental health services kind of differ for kids versus adults?
Children and adolescents, even young adults, are still growing and developing. They don't yet have the words or even the understanding for their experiences. So we find that play therapy and creative arts expression are very helpful approaches in working with them to promote healing.
So in many communities of color, seeking mental health care is stigmatized, and just 1 in 3 African Americans who struggle with mental health issues will ever receive appropriate treatment. How does having a therapist of color help patients of color?
While we don't have to live the same life as a client in order to be of help, it is extremely and deeply important to sometimes go to a person who looks like I do, who may have experienced the same challenges and has, most importantly, demonstrated an ability to overcome obstacles. I think when you work with someone who comes from your community, it can really promote a sense of success in being able to meet your goals and overcoming and having hope.
So obviously with overcoming, we want to talk about giving people help. So what type of mental health does Greenwich House actually offer?
Greenwich House has been providing mental health services since 1974. We started with senior health and consultation for people 60 plus. We grew in 1987 the Children's Safety Health Project to work with children who have had trauma and adults who have had trauma. And then during the AIDS mental health crisis, we had the AIDS Mental Health Project in the late 80s. So we merged all these programs so that we can currently offer services for clients 3 to 100 and plus, so that they can get a nice array of services for themselves and for family members.
All right, Linda, thank you so much for talking with us about all this today on clearly a very important day to be talking about it. If you feel like you are struggling with a mental health issue, you need to speak to somebody, we have a list of helpful phone numbers and websites at PIX11.com/resources.